Good morning and welcome back to Local 6. I'm joined by Leanne Ellington, our fitness guru. She has brought her secret sauce this morning.
Oh, yes.
And what we're talking about here is jumping on the wagon of being motivated.
Right.
How do you do it? Because I know I can rarely stick to something because if that Twix bar creeps in somewhere, I'm going to eat it.
Absolutely. And you know, the fitness and the food side of things, when we're reaching our goals, they only take us so far if we don't have the tools to implement these in our lives. So, you know, we've talked a bit about willpower and establishing positive habits in our lives that allow us to not necessarily have to use willpower. Well, at the end of the day, when it comes to establishing a habit in our life, it takes about 30 days. That's how long it takes your nervous system to actually adapt and create that pathway that is literally a habit. You know, if you're a smoker, it takes 30 days to become a smoker or a non-smoker. Alcoholic, same thing. So we create these neural pathways in our brain. So we have the ability to kind of trick ourselves is how I look at it. You know, fake it till you make it in a way until it actually becomes a habit. So one way, the first thing you need to do when reaching any goal, whether it's fat loss or beyond, is you just have to make a decision. You know, you have to decide whether or not it's important to you. And it's a matter of, I'm going to make this happen or I'm not going to make it happen.
And I think if it's realistic too is a big deal.
Absolutely. Coming up, you know, if I say I want to lose 60 pounds in 3 weeks because I heard on TV that it's possible, you know, that's not a realistic goal and you're setting yourself up for failure. And, you know, there's a difference between, you know, setting a goal and saying nothing is going to stop me from getting there, not a anthrax outbreak or a tornado. I'm going to get to the gym. I'm going to get in my meals, versus just kind of, you know, letting life happen to you.
So that's sort of what you were saying about a warrior versus a victim. Basically,
Exactly.
A victim is someone, oops, I just ate the pizza because it was served at the party, and the warrior saying, I'm going to have the celery sticks instead.
Right, absolutely. I call it warrior mode. A warrior stops at nothing until they, you know, have been successful in their challenge. They, you know, don't eat, sleep, breathe. You know, in back in the day, you know, warrior mode. Think of like the soldiers on the battlefield.
So
you know?
the ultimate determination. And then tell us about your 30-day plan, because I think it's a myth. I used to hear that a habit sticks after 2 weeks, but you're saying it's 30 days now.
Yeah, you know, so the 30 days is how long it takes, you know, to establish that in your actual physical, you know, self. But the, you know, first 10 days is literally, if you go into it knowing that there's 3 phases, you're going to be a lot more successful. The first phase is literally defying gravity, where every single thing about it is so hard. You literally feel like you're defying gravity to get there. Everything in your mind, in your body is telling you not to do it. That's the first 10 days. The second 10 days is just simply resistance, where it's still challenging, where your mind's going to want to play tricks on you to get you to skip the gym, but it's not quite as hard as that first 10 days of defying gravity. And then the third 10-day phase is what's considered accelerated velocity, meaning like now you have that momentum. Now you can escape the gravity and the resistance, and you've really physically got it ingrained in your nervous system, so it's kind of on automatic mode. So those are the 3, you know, kind of like psychological phases we go through when building a habit. And if you can just get through that defying gravity, which is the hardest part, and then equally as hard to get through that resistance, because that's when our mind really starts just playing tricks on us, and get into that accelerated velocity side of it, where it happens. It's a momentum thing where you really can't stop it. Then you're golden. Just get through that first 20 days, and you do that by just literally saying, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Just pick 3 things. Ideally, it would be a physical thing, a mental thing, and an emotional thing. And just, I'm going to do these 3 things for 30 days. Warrior mode, you can't stop me. Try to get me off track. It's not going to happen. Get yourself in that mindset, and then just defy gravity and resistance for those 20 days, and hopefully you should be golden.
Okay, sounds good. Determination is key. Leanne, thanks for joining us. Let's get a check on that weather.